Leatherface and his fucked up family might enjoy their feasts of human flesh with all the trimmings, but the Texas Chain Saw Massacre itself, for my money the greatest horror movie ever made, is a lean, mean masterpiece with zero fat on its bones. Like comedies, horror films need to be as tight as possible. A horror film loses some of its impact every second you're not terrified, just like a comedy loses some of its impact every second you're not laughing. In the Texas Chain Saw Massacre, Tobe Hooper doesn't waste a second. At 83 minutes, Texas Chain Saw gets straight to the point. Hooper tells us everything we need to know in the first couple of scenes. The opening titles reveal that the spook show that's about to follow was inspired by true events, which makes it even more chilling. The film introduces a group of friends who are on a road trip through Texas to investigate reports of grave robbing at Grandpa Hardesty's final resting place. On the way, they decide to swing by the old family homestead. They get to the creepy, dusty old house, split up, and promptly get brutally murdered and hung on meat hooks.
Universe you're from, that guy hurt.
The opening scenes also succinctly establish the film's subtext, with the grim irony that the Hardesty family made their living through animal slaughter. The grandpa whose grave has been desecrated sold cattle to a local slaughterhouse. As they drive by the slaughterhouse and talk about Grandpa's business, Hooper slips in some jarring cutaways to cows being killed with bolts through their heads. He slyly draws parallels between the meat industry and cannibalism. We think it's so horrifying that Leatherface will beat these kids to death and make dinner from their flesh. But we don't bat an eye at the mass murder of cows and chickens to make our cheeseburgers and chicken nuggets. It only takes a couple of minutes, but this commentary masterfully elevates the grisly slasher that follows to an extravagant metaphor for the immorality of the meat biz.
Don't kid yourself, Jimmy. If a cow ever got the chance, he'd eat you and everyone you care about.
Throughout the first hour of Texas Chain Saw, as Sally's friends are picked off one by one and it becomes clear that more and more of the locals are in on Leatherface's cannibalistic operation, Hooper builds a palpable sense of dread. Then the final act, the gruesome dinner party with Leatherface's family, is a sustained 20 minutes of unbridled terror. It's an airtight structure, 3/4 build-up, 1/4 payoff. No other horror movie has managed to maintain such a tangible feeling of tension for its entire runtime. Alien, Carrie, Halloween, Suspiria, and Don't Look Now have tension and dread in spades, but they also break it up with moments of levity. Alien has a happy-go-lucky breakfast scene, Carrie has that weird tuxedo-fitting sequence. Even Don't Look Now, which revolves around two parents grieving the death of their young daughter, puts the horror on hold to indulge in one of the hottest sex scenes in movie history. The taut assembly of the Texas Chain Saw Massacre doesn't have a second of breathing room. Even the early driving scenes have a self-mutilating hitchhiker who turns out to be Leatherface's brother, and some roadside barbecue that may or may not contain human meat. Hooper doesn't give you a moment to relax, he tortures you for every second of those 83 minutes. Although its own sequels, reboots, and knockoffs have relied on excessive gore, the original Texas Chain Saw is relatively bloodless. Hooper understands that what you don't see is much scarier than what you do see. He builds the suspense right up to the moment that Leatherface strikes, but he doesn't spend 5 minutes showing the blood-drenched dismemberment. Hooper knows that leaving you to imagine what Leatherface is doing to his victims is more unsettling than just painting the screen red with blood. Don't get me wrong, I love gory movies, but Texas Chain Saw proves that sometimes less is more.
But if less is more, then just think how much more and more will be.
The Texas Chain Saw Massacre is one of the only horror movies with a happy ending, but after everything Sally's been through, that happy ending feels truly earned. The audience celebrates Sally's freedom with her. When Sally escapes from the torture she's endured at Leatherface's hands, the audience is released from the torture they've endured at Hooper's hands. We all made it through this shit together. Let's rejoice. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you liked the video. Remember to like and subscribe and click on the little bell. And also seize the day and call your mom and be kind to yourself.